Hi, my name is Bob Lawson, and I'm still talking about Socialism Sucks, Two Economists Drink Their Way Through the Unfree World. It's a book I have with my friend Ben Powell. Ben's a professor at Texas Tech. I'm a professor at Southern Methodist University. We went to Venezuela because we wanted to explore what a really functioning socialist economy might look like, and it's not good. One of the things we talk about a lot in our book is beer. And one of the problems that Venezuela has actually had is they've actually run out of beer. See, the economy of Venezuela has been taken over by the government. They've collectivized farms, they've collectivized, nationalized companies. They haven't actually nationalized the beer company, but one of the things they do is they control the foreign exchange. So that means the dollars. And the Venezuelan beer company needs to import barley to make beer. The problem is the people that grow barley in the United States and other places, they expect to be paid in dollars. And the Venezuelan government didn't give the beer company enough dollars, so they couldn't buy enough barley, so they couldn't buy enough beer. And that's one of the hallmarks of socialist economies all over the world. Everywhere it's been tried is it's been very hard to produce things. And we're certainly seeing that in Venezuela. So we went to the city of Cucuta, Colombia, which is on the border of Venezuela. And every day, tens of thousands of Venezuelans were crossing these two bridges from Venezuela into Colombia. The two different sets of bridges. And it was very funny when we first got there because on the Colombian side, it's a massive activity of stores and people selling beer and people selling candy and rice and beans and sugars. On the Venezuelan side, there's absolutely nothing. There is a little town over there, but there's nothing on that side. Venezuelans have nothing to buy in Venezuela. So they come over by the thousands every day to buy stuff in Colombia. And it was pretty funny because when they came in, they had bags. They were dragging luggage like you'd be at an airport, like wheeled luggage. And it was very heavy on the way in. I was kind of curious, why is their luggage so heavy on the way in? And the reason it's heavy on the way into Colombia is because it's filled with Venezuelan currency. Venezuela right now has hyperinflation. They have tens of thousands of percent. I think last year's inflation rate was 80,000% for the year. So people were bringing in suitcases of cash, literally piles and piles of cash, and then they trade it for a small amount of Colombian pesos, and they buy rice and beans and sugar with those pesos. And it was really pretty awful to see, actually. It was a lot of middle-class people. It wasn't poor people. There was one couple, Ana Maria and Paulo were their names. We interviewed them on the border. They had come 3 days. They'd come from a city called Ciudad Bolivar, which is on the other side of the Venezuelan country. It's on the eastern side of the country. They'd come all the way to the western border with Colombia. And it took them 3 days. So this is going to end up being a 6-day round trip. It was one of the things that was the most emotional for me because talking to this young couple, I think they had a child that they'd left home with relatives. And they were going on a 6-day dangerous round trip to buy groceries. It'd be the equivalent of driving from Dallas to, I don't know, Vancouver, maybe even further, just to find food to buy. And that's the kind of situation we see in Venezuela, is tens of thousands of people who can't get food in their own country are going to desperate lengths to buy food in places like Colombia. Some of the people, of course, are coming and they're not leaving. They're coming to Colombia, and there's a bit of a refugee crisis in Colombia, as many thousands of Venezuelans are trying to get out of Venezuela, and they're staying in Colombia or Brazil on the Brazilian side. So we got a good firsthand look at really the worst case, almost the worst case for socialism, where people in Venezuela are now not getting enough food to eat, and they're going to great lengths to try to feed themselves and their families. And it's really one of the worst things I've ever seen with my own eyes. That's the worst case about socialism. Not only did they run out of beer, which is pretty bad, they're actually running out of food, which is awful.